Hey! Today we are going to show you the Electric Wedge. This is a terrain bunker base. This is designed to get you started as a solo or even a duo. This is made to be expanded into a second floor if you'd like to, but this is designed to not only get you started in the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes in a wipe, but also to start you on the path to collect that all-important power. Let's go ahead and zoom in here to show you some of the amenities. We have electronics inside of here to heat you if you're in the winter biome. Also a light, the all-important light. We have built-in furnaces in the interior here in the wall and the honeycomb. We also have the medium battery built into the honeycomb next to the tool cupboard. And the tool cupboard, you can see the upkeep here is going to be 426 stone, 152 wood, and 188 metal fragments, making this very easy to maintain for the entire wipe, especially if you're playing on weekly, and to really give you that springboard, or even use this as a farming base or multiple bases throughout the wipe. And this can be expanded by taking the crowbar section of that and just adding to the top. You will have to obviously move up the solar panels to do so. Here's kind of an example here. It has like roof climb protection here with turrets and stuff, but we won't cover that in this particular video, just to kind of show you some of the ways you can take this to the next level. And yes, you're supposed to have multiple types of materials here, because this is hopefully going to throw people off, but this makes it super cheap for you and your buddy if you decide to go duo. I am Jade Monkey. We're talking about the Rust console edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. So let's go through this bad boy. Geez, I almost choked on it. Okay, so as we said before, this is a terrain bunker base. You do not need to have a garage door to operate this. We're just going to use wood lock. So like right here is the exit. Boom, just like that. Pretty hot, not gonna lie. And again, it's based off of that terrain, so as long as you have that little crumb inside of the terrain right there, this makes this so you can't burn it down, and it makes it super tight. And if you just kind of kneel back in the corner here, and then you would upgrade this to the same as the back corner. And we'll go ahead and zoom out to the exterior. And it doesn't matter if you knock out this wall, this door, or this top tile, it's still gonna be a metal frame on top, leaving this as a more than 2 stone walls either way you rate it from. And this is extremely accessible right off the rip. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the foundation stuff right away here. I think the hardest part of this is just finding the terrain to do so, so I'd practice on something like Builder's Paradise. If you look right here, as long as you have that back bar under the terrain and you kind of have those wooden nubs sticking up, that should be enough. And then I'll place one back here, and then a triangle here. I think we got that right. And then we're going to just test the locations. So we're going to stick a door frame here, and a door frame here, and a wall, soft side in. And we're going to take the triangle roof tile, just make sure that we can place it. It's quite fickle. And then make sure we can place one here. Yeah, because sometimes this will be off just enough where you can't place it, and it's super frustrating. Now, I think we have off of this back corner, I think we made it... Yeah, so here's another reason why you want to make sure you've got this back piece placed, is I like to have this back frame. It just kind of helps with expansion later, and if you want to really protect the back corner. So what you have to do is knock out that triangle roof tile here, and then place this tile down here. We're just going to leave up the twig. I'll show you what to upgrade later. It just kind of helps, because once this is in place and solidified and you can't destroy it, it just makes it that much harder to actually place. That's another reason why we have this as wood here. Most people won't mess with it, and just makes it so you can upgrade it later. You don't have to, but you know how it is. Sometimes you might just get the pressure. Okay, so we'll place foundations here. We'll zoom back so you guys can see the footprint. And that's with the terrain bunker base there. And we're going to move on to the next section where the tool cupboard is. So here's what I typically do. I will do this layout just to verify that the terrain bunker is going to work. And then I work immediately on the 1x2. And then I'll fill in important parts as I go, because I just don't usually have those kind of materials as I start working. So we're going to place a wall here. And I like to go right to this back piece. We'll make that stone and that stone. And then I like to take a wooden frame here and immediately put up a door frame and a wooden lock. Wooden locks are great to start because you don't have to code them in. And if you're just starting by yourself, there's no reason to get crazy with it, right? And then we'll make sure we've got the tool cupboard down here. And what I like to do is I'll place this window frame here, because this is going to be where you're going to place your battery. And you want it to act as active honeycomb, right? So you want the hard side to be right here and the soft side to be on the interior. I like to leave this as wood or a twig for a hot second. It just kind of helps with things. We're going to put a lid on this, and then we're going to put a stone frame on that there. And then if you can step back here, put that. And then what I like to do is, you got to get this right back in the corner. So knob's facing you. Get it back in the corner as far as you can, and then over to the left. And it's very, very important that you set that way back. We're going to put a couple pieces of materials in here. Should be more than enough. Yeah, because you saw the price on it. It was cheap. So I'll go out here, place your triangle frames, so we can make sure that our shelf goes on the interior. And then we'll knock this out and this out. Go inside and see if we can place the triangle. And we can. I'm a big fan of using wood now for the inner slats, as that's not going to protect you any, so you might as well just lock it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and back up here so you guys can see what's going on. Let me knock this out here. So we're going to place this over here too, because we are going to place that. That's going to be our usable honeycomb. So let me just stand right here and then back up so you guys can see, whoops, the scale of what's going on here. So I like to start with that piece that you're seeing there in stone, because that's the cheapest way to go. And you don't even have the terrain bunker like filled out yet, but that's okay. It just kind of keeps people off your back. You definitely don't want to sign out at this point, as it is super dangerous for your base. People can burn this door. People can burn the frame down. It gets very, very nasty pretty quick. Okay, so I'm going to demolish this piece here because we know that does work. And we're going to place this here. It'll make sense in a second because we're going to place the battery in a little bit. You can make this wood to start if you really want to. I like to make this one stone, and then make that wall here, make the bottom platform stone, the triangle stone, and then fill this in if you have the stone to do so. Since this is up here on the top, you want to make sure you've got your ceiling tiles in place, or else someone's just going to walk up that ramp and dig you pretty quick. Then what I like to do here almost immediately, I do like to use a metal door here. A lot of times you can be grinding up metal fragments and stuff at recyclers. So this is really the only metal door you need to stop any kind of flame raids initially. And then look, you've got an airlock right here. Good to go. And then once you have more materials, you can start to flush this out. It's very important that you leave this twig right here. Let me go ahead and highlight it. I'm going to try to move quickly too. Now this can definitely be wood. Okay, so let me back up so you guys can see what's going on again. And I can take a swig of tactical cylinder. So yes, at this point you want to really be knocking out a bunch of animals, getting a bunch of low grades, because you are going to be building furnaces pretty soon. Okay, so to finish out this inner frame, sometimes I make that wood. I like to do it on the cheap. But then right here, you need to make sure that you've got a stone wall on this side here. And then I like to make this wood because it kind of just leaves it in place. I'll make that stone, bring my blueprints back down, and then make sure we have a triangle roof piece here. We're going to do the upgrades in a little bit. And this is going to be the active piece for your bunker itself. So you already saw that earlier. If you kneel back in the corner, this completes it. It's a procedural corner. So with seeing that right there, what you can do is I would place this as a wooden piece to do it on the cheap. And then again, if this is solidified, then you can complete the bunker portion here by placing a wall. Make sure it's hard side facing you, like so. And then you can make this stone to start. Because you may not be able to afford the metal fragments, let's be honest, if you're getting started. Okay, so let's go on the interior and start with our solar panels and our sleeping bag and everything else. Because remember, a bunker base, you need to have your sleeping bag ready to go. Because if you don't, you're going to be locking yourself out and you're going to be in big trouble. Okay, so hopefully by now you have enough to make a couple furnaces. So let's just go ahead and throw them back. Most of the time I have one because I'm broke. But if you're lucky enough, get all three and slap them back here in the corner. And then I would throw this up here. Don't worry if you don't have the metal reinforced window, like the glass window. What you can do here is actually, believe it or not, craft the default blueprint, which is the wooden frame. Where is it at? Right here. Yes, people can kind of poke through, but it's actually pretty obnoxious to knock out, and it serves its purpose. It keeps people from moving into your base further. Okay, so inside of here, All right, so I know medium batteries are pretty crazy because it takes tech trash, and I get that. But good news, you can buy the battery over at the Bandit Camp for 75 scrap. So when you do, make sure that the panel is facing you, the control piece in the front. Make sure you're standing on this corner piece, and then you can place that right there. Once that's nice and snug, then you can make that stone. Make sure soft side is facing you. So also, on the same vein, the Outpost does sell solar panels for 75 a pop. Yes, you can learn them, but they take tech trash, and it's it's a lot. So I would recommend buying them when you can, and then bring them back to your base. And as soon as you get them, start charging it. So the ample corner for this is going to be northeast for this side, and then the other side is southwest. Gives you day and afternoon coverage. Then we're going to place a root combiner on the ceiling tiles here. Kind of just helps with everything. Like so. I put 2 of them so you can make an expansion later. We'll go ahead and wire these up real fast. It's such a good practice to get these things going immediately. So up here, yes, people can mess with your solar panels, but usually they don't. I place one here, then we'll kind of fly through the wall here. Another reason why we do this on PC, because we can do this so much faster. There's one of the sides, and then we'll come up here. It's the more you can get them to guess where your stuff is, the better. I don't like to stick extra components on the roof tile unless I really, really, really have to. And then we'll place that there. And then what we'll do is, we'll go inside here. We can take this up on the upper frame here. I kind of like to do that. Bring it around while you don't have boxes in here yet. And you could just bring it right down if you really wanted to. I guess what we will do, I'm such a stickler for this. What a freak, right? And then kind of bring it down the frame. And then you can bring it in and then attach it like so. And now we're actually collecting charge, which is good because it takes time, because you're not going to have all the stone right away in most cases. Okay, so we have a sleeping bag. We can now seal the bunker base if we need to. The all-important wooden door here, so you have another airlock. Whoops. I like to use wood because it keeps people guessing, right? And a lot of times when they see a singular lock, they're like, oh, I'm probably not going to mess with that guy. That guy's poor. Okay, and then you're going to place, if you are lucky enough to get or if you do need a heater, I'll place that here. And then I will place the light here. Lights are going to be very important, especially when Farming 2.0 comes in, so keep that in mind. What we will do is place, when you do get the right amount of scrap, or you've got these in the wild, I would place a switch here and then a branch on top. I always have a switch for the output, always, 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 for a battery. At first you may not think you need it, but you definitely do down the line, so I just recommend, it's just good practice for multiple reasons. Like, you don't want the drain happening all the time, but it just, like, this one's really tucked away, so it's nice to have your attach point in a more accessible location. And I have the branch here because this also can support up to 3 turrets as well. So this is another good reason why this is a good starter base. Is that going to let me hit that piece right there? It's too close. There we go. And then red, and then we'll have this go up to the heater because we are in the winter biome. And again, you can skip this if you don't want it. And then we'll have this go to the green, and we'll have this go up and around to our light. The reason why I have the heater connected first is because, think about it. If you're in the base, you don't always need the light, but if you're in the base, you almost always need the heater, correct? So if this is on, what this is going to do here is 3 is going to turn on the heater because that takes 3 units of power. So like if you're in the base, you're going to need the heater at minimum. And then if it's nighttime, then you turn it to 4 to have the heater and the light. And that way you can still take extra power out of here and then go connect turrets, do all kinds of stuff. And so if you want all of the power to be off, you can just turn off the light there. I like to have this on, 3, so just the heater's on, and then if you need the other stuff, you can. And this heater should be enough to cover this entire area, not only to keep you warm, but to give you the comfort to help you regenerate your health. Nice. Let me just crouch back so you guys can see that. Okay, on to the next piece here. I think we're almost done, and then we'll do the upgrades. I think we have most things. Just remember, the honeycomb pieces, if you want to add those on the exterior, are going to cost you 900 for the upgrade, so then it leaves you 100 for some upkeep. If you really want to go that route, and you totally can. And then right here you have room for your tool cupboard. I'm sorry, not the tool cupboard. What am I saying? The workbench. You could even have one more furnace back here in the corner if you want to, but you do have room for some more sleeping bags. If you have solo, you could do a trio, but it's very, very tight. And you're going to need a second floor pretty quickly because you're going to fill up rather rapidly. Okay, so I think we have... I feel like I'm missing something here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lock this up, and then we'll show you the different upgrades that we're going to do. We're actually going to seal the bunker. Again, double, triple, quadruple check to make sure that your sleeping bag is on the interior. And that this is twig. That's very, very important, because if it's not, you're in trouble. So yes, you are prone to people kind of coming up here and door camping you a little bit, but you can add the extra airlocks and stuff. We do have the crowbar piece here that really shows you the airlock. This shows you what the airlock can look like. And then again, this is the bunker portion. You kind of just see what I mean? It's nice. And it leaves you a lot of room to drop things off, to make more electronics, to do anti-roof camp, all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so let's do the upgrades, and they're not too bad. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is make sure that your bunker entrance is sealed. So you've got that as metal. I do like to go up here and make this metal as well. We're only doing the bare minimum, because remember, we're solos. We don't have that kind of cheese. I think that one's also metal too, if I'm not mistaken. And the foundation where the tool cupboard is going to be metal. That's going to be metal, and that should be most of it. I think we got it. Oh yeah, in the back wall here. What am I saying? So that should give you at least 2 stone walls anywhere into this base, leaving it super, super protected. You've got the ability to start collecting power immediately. You've got coverage for both heat and light, and light will be very, very important in farming 2.0. That's going to be after power surge. Those of you that are on PC, that's already important. You know what I'm talking about. And inside of here, if you do get lucky enough to get yourself one of these reinforced glass windows, you would place it here. If not, I would use the wooden one. If you only have the wooden one, I would definitely make this wall metal. So let's go ahead and check the upkeep real fast so you guys can see all this. Everything in place. And remember, when this is all sealed, look at that. That's a metal ceiling tile they need to break through. They're not going to get that anytime soon. 2 stone walls here. 2 stone walls here, a metal wall, and then the back wall that's exposed is also metal. So let's go ahead and check the upkeep. Look at that, 407 on the stone, 165 wood, and 188 metal fragments. That's not even half a stone node, a fraction of a tree, and a fraction of a metal node. 1/3 of a metal node? Not even a third. Very, very affordable. You can build up your loot room any way you desire after you place this here. You can actually place all 4 boxes inside of this here, making this the excellent choice, the best choice for a solo duo to get you started, or even a farm base, because let's not forget, the more bases you have to spawn into, the better. All right, hopefully you found this useful and helpful. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.